All right, we got
Yeah, just let me know we're up.
1 minute remaining.
I don't pick my nose.
Kind of like me fixing my hair all the time. Nervous habit.
All right, we are live.
Okay. Hey, Facebook, social media, YouTube, Twitter, and everything else where we're streaming.
Put
Welcome.
that mic up to your mouth, brother.
Free for all. It's right up in my mouth. It's getting closer. I'll chew it.
Any
That's right.
closer, he'd swallow it.
We're not hearing it?
That was funny, huh?
All
Was it?
right, we
now?
got 20 seconds. Stand by, folks.
I wish
that,
my
Woody?
sisters thought I was that funny
Woody?
today.
All right. How's that better? All right. I guess I could
All right, 15 seconds. Stand by. Quiet on the
be a
set.
little closer. There's those singers that get up and they start singing. They
That's sexy.
have an intimate relationship with the microphone.
Don't
All right.
know.
I started. My fault. My fault.
From NFL quarterback to Hollywood to the mayor's office and now behind the mic at KXEX, this is the Alan Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody grabbing out there. Nobody.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable. Free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty!
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now, 559-899-1550.
And welcome to Alan Autry No Retreat. I'm old Alan Autry. We're so honored and humbled to have you today. Friday, live, free for all Friday. And that's not me. My voice has not gone up a few octaves. That's my wife, Kimberly, joining John Lennon in Revolution. And that's when you know it's free for all Friday, and anything and everything's on the table. Call in whatever you want to
Thank you.
discuss. We're certainly going to be all over the place, wherever the spirit moves us. And I just I couldn't help listen to the promo. I love our promo. It's kind of long, but people don't seem to mind, cutting it down. What would you take out? I mean, those are some great quotes from some great people, right, honey?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, some Democrats, Republicans, Vince Lombardi, what's going on out there? Some great people, right, honey? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah,
hearing
I mean,
now I'm hearing
Democrats,
myself in my voice, in my ear, Woody. I don't know what's going on.
And Stephen Cloud's not with us today, but he's working on his movie.
He is.
He's big
up there.
time now.
He's building those muscles up, looking for a trainer.
I thought he
he's-
already found one.
He's got 3 weeks
He's got a trainer now,
to
right?
make up for about 2 years of inactivity.
No. He's got a trainer.
What? Huh? No, he doesn't. You asked me to find him one.
Steven.
He asked me to find it. Getting ready to do a movie with Bruce Willis and Dolph Lundgren.
Don't rain on his
And
parade.
but you know what? He keeps his weight down. He keeps in good shape. So
He looks good.
in 3 weeks, if he gets the right trainer, he should be all right. But anyway, listen to that
He'll
promo.
do good.
Listen to the promo with Al Michaels
I'm a
during
fan.
the Olympics when the American team pulled off the upset against the Soviet Union. Those iconic words of "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes. And I think everybody, when they hear that, kind of think about the miracle in their own life. And I'm just sitting here in this studio with you, Kim, my wife, and 15 miles outside of town here, working those fields when I was a kid, where you're never supposed to go to college. You kind of work the fields and die out in the fields like your daddy did. And to be able-
my dad worked hard to provide for all of his kids when he was gone, not just for a couple of his kids. My dad worked hard to leave things to his children.
Mhm. Well, like I said, that's, hard work is something that the country used to glorify. It seems to have lost a little bit of that luster, the work ethic. But anyway, wrap it up real quick.
Well, yeah, because people have gotten greedy, and they don't think they deserve. They think that, really, in today's date and time, they don't believe the way my dad believed. They don't believe. It's all about them, all about them. And if you notice right now, they're not putting away. A lot of people don't put away money for their kids. They do not. They don't work hard, and they don't. They work hard, but they don't put that money away for their kids.
Yeah, but
like my dad did.
Well, this brings up an interesting point. Is it? I'm just putting this out here for discussion.
Can you hear me, Woody?
Yeah,
okay.
We hear you loud and clear.
I'm
there.
solid. I can't hear anything.
Is it really a parent's responsibility to leave a whole lot behind to their kids?
No, it's not.
So, well, that's what I mean.
But back in my dad's day, it was. That's what they worked for. They worked to make sure their kids wouldn't have to work the way they did. Mm-hmm. They wanted them to have things that they didn't have. And
so the very things that built character in them, they didn't want their kids to have. A certain amount of struggle, not having any inheritance, having to get up and go to work every day, maybe in a job.
They wanted to leave them something, and now what they left them, they left their kids. The kids don't put back savings accounts and put back money for their kids. They say they're going to, by and large. They don't, though. They spend it on vacations, or they spend it on themselves and doing things.
Well, you're bringing up an interesting point, which we hadn't discussed before, but it's Free for All Friday. I love it. We hadn't planned on going there, but
it hit home to me.
Yeah, well, no, I think it hits home to a lot of people because part of this inflation is people taking this stimulus money and buying a whole bunch of stuff, and you have contributes greatly to this supply chain issue we have, not getting enough goods. It's too much money chasing too few goods, and that sounds good until you realize, people have a lot of money, but are they? And they saved a lot of it during the stimulus checks. That's been proven. They've done the studies, and a lot of people put that money away, and now they're spending it. They're unleashing it. They're buying houses. They're buying what they call assets.
Second houses, vacation homes, boats, expensive cars.
And, when interest rates go up and when you buy that house, excuse me, it used to be $600,000. Now it's $1.2 million. And they think they're getting a good deal because of the interest rates. But when it goes to $1.2 million, you're taxed on $1.2 million. And they're going to get some tax bills, these folks, that rushed into these homes that many of them can't afford. And so anyway, it's an interesting discussion. Is it, has life become a little bit too easy? Because when you,
well, of course it's come too easy
in America.
Well, I think it's become, actually, you know what, Alan? It's not about it being too easy. It's taking for granted, mm-hmm. and it really and truly, the individual themselves decide how things should be done.
What's wrong with that?
Well, because if it's not, let's say if you're sharing something, or if you're building, a company is building, their empire, and you have partners in that company. Well, if you don't actually share things with that partner and you do it behind their back, that causes conflict and bankruptcy and hate and you loathe them. The biggest fights in the world are about. I'm sorry, it just came in. It's about money.
Yeah.
And it's the root of all evil.
Well, Jesus talked about money more than anything in the Bible. He said there's a spirit attached to that. And
scary.
He said it's easier for a camel go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven, because he knew how.
What do you consider rich?
Well, I think it's when money controls your values rather than your walk with God and what's right or wrong.
Or when you decide what's right or wrong with your money.
Right,
you don't go through God. You don't go through anyone.
Right,
you decide what is right or wrong.
Yeah. If without that foundation of faith, that especially those who get extremely wealthy, it can be.
I've worked for a company my entire life, but I don't expect to have half that company.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Okay. Well, that's an interesting topic. That's a whole show. But
okay, let's talk about The View.
Talk about people making a lot of money.
You know what?
Well, let me set this up a little bit with the folks here so they know. I don't particularly care for The View. It's just a one-sided show.
It's their view.
Very liberal. Kim watches it, and they can be entertaining at times. You got Whoopi Goldberg on there, and you got this lady Joy Behar, who is probably as far left as she's one of the woke far left. She's not just a liberal. She's way out there, way beyond Whoopi, I think. But they got rid of their only conservative voice, Meghan McCain, but because of the ratings drops, it looks like in the shows. Kim, what you share with us?
They're looking for a conservative co-host, but they say Sunny Hostin is conservative.
Who?
One of the co-hosts that are on there now.
What's her name?
Sunny Hostin, I think it is. Yeah. But she's not conservative. No. And Meghan McCain was an asset to that show, I believe. But ever since she's gone, it's been not The View, it's been their view.
Right. Well, with Meghan McCain, what little I watched of it, seemed like every show I would catch a snippet of it because, you had it on. It was like Meghan McCain wasn't,
they beat her to death.
She was like a pinata.
Yeah, exactly.
They were just all beating the crap out of her.
They beat her beat her up, man.
She finally said, I've had enough of this, which begs the question, what true conservative would walk into that meat grinder?
No, Joy's like this. She's like a comedian all over the place, and then you got Anna Navarro, who is kind of like Joy's puppet. And then when Whoopi's gone, Joy's in control. And when Whoopi's there, Whoopi just all she does is look down her glasses, down her nose, and everybody's she's the head.
But Joy, they can walk all over Joy.
Well, Joy just Joy Letzel.
What a name for somebody who's
Joy
always
Letzel.
so unhappy.
I like Joy. I mean, Joy's so way out there that you have to like her.
What?
She's so way out there.
I don't have to like her. I do not have to like some. I love everybody. I love Joy.
Whatever. I don't hold grudges.
Finds, the things in her
I'm not
life.
like other people. I don't hold grudges like
that.
I don't
hold a grudge against her. I just don't. I mean, how can you?
Joy's funny. She's a comedic. It's like.
How can you like and love them? Yeah. But like an individual who believes that racism should be taught to our kids in kindergarten.
Okay, but listen, it's just kind of like asking someone their favorite movie and their non-favorite movie. I mean, it's almost the same thing.
You don't like it, turn the channel.
I mean, nobody likes, a lot of people don't like La La Land, but I love The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is one of my favorite Netflix series.
La La Land made like 400, 500 million?
Huh?
A lot of people like La La Land.
I love La La Land.
Well, what are you saying people don't like La La Land?
Because I was reading something on it and a lot of people didn't like it.
Well, I loved it. Did. What, 400 million it made?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, same as The View, it's like some people like it, some people don't.
And it's crazy. How do you explain it? I mean, how do you explain some people didn't like In the Heat of the Night? Some people didn't like that big cop that was on there. I forget his name. But
well, how come people voted for him for mayor? Because they thought he was the true police chief.
Oh, gosh. Of all people that could go there. You remember the mayors? And I want to thank Kim publicly here. My wife, folks out there, I want to do this. I felt the call in to run for mayor, but I had to clear it with Kim first. And that's a heck of a thing to ask a wife and a family and kids to go through. And I just felt the call in so strong, but also, Lord said, you get the blessing from your wife first. And it was far from a done deal. In fact, I thought she was going to say no. She thought about it. I thought the kibosh was on. I was ready. We were outside by the pool. I'll never forget it. She walks inside. And so I'm saying, okay, I'm going to not run. I'm going to just, move on to the next series, God willing. Because I'd gone from series to series. A lot of fun. We did Grace Out of Fire, Sons of Thunder with Chuck Norris.
Well,
met a lot of nice
at that time, I just had a baby and I had 3 kids.
Right.
And I was doing a movie.
So why did you come out there and say, you have my blessing, I'm going to support you?
Oh, just to make you happy, I guess.
You're supposed
and my mom was sitting right there. My mom pretty guided me my decisions at that time.
Yeah. Do you wish you would have said no?
No, absolutely not. It was an experience.
It's okay now. We're looking back. It's free for all Friday. I don't mind.
You know what? It was. I learned a lot. I went to work for Congressman Denham after that. Which Congressman Denham was an awesome man. Yeah. Awesome man.
Still is. He talked like he's passed on.
Well, no, I feel sad that nobody really realized. I mean, he could be governor if you ask me.
Oh, I agree. Jeff's got those great. So what you're saying, there was some positive experiences.
Absolutely.
In this crazy world called a mayor in the 4th largest city in California. And I just want to publicly thank you because without your
help
blessing,
a lot of people.
I wouldn't have done it. And you let me do it. And again, I want to thank you for that because I tell you, it's tough because you don't realize when you take office, those that are maybe considering it, you think you know something. You think you got to lay the land in terms of who's going to support you, who's not, who's your friend, who's not, who's got your back, who's not. Be ready to be surprised and disappointed. And I found this to be true 99% of the time. A lot of folks you think that will be there for you, that do have your back,
will not have your back.
Will not have your back, will not be there. And people that you least expect to be there are there. It's a crazy thing. And then you have to play by rules, but those coming after you play dirty. They went after my wife. They went after our kids. They went after my faith. They just threw the kitchen sink.
Thank God my mom and dad saw that. My other family members never saw what I went through and have no clue, what I went through and what it was like to be in political office.
You held the family together.
And they have no clue. But my mom and dad were always there.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank also our kids, Lauren, Heather, Austin, for that. And I want to take it back to those that are seeking office because, and we're going to take a break after this, but I want to send this message to those out there that may be considering running for office. For some reason, I get calls. Just got one the other day. People want to say, pick my brain, get a little advice. And first of all, I tell them, well, let's get one thing straight. First of all, I ain't that good. One good thing, strength I have is I know that one man, one person is no good unless they have a great team around them. It was one talent that I think I do have is to recognize good people and be able to put those good people into position to succeed. So for that's number one. Number two, you got to come to office with unshakable principles and flexible politics. And number three, and most important, it has to be a calling. You feel it's something you're supposed to do from a higher authority than something you want to do.
Yeah. You just don't run for an office. You got to have a passion for that. You don't do it just because you want to fill up your time.
And passion, even a lot of people have passion, but they don't have that sense of calling from a higher purpose. Because
it's big shoes to fill.
Well, today they're not out just to destroy you as a candidate if they don't agree with you. They want to destroy your whole family. They want to cancel anything to do with you. You can look at Trump. They not only want to cancel Trump, they want to cancel Donald Trump Jr., they want to cancel Ivanka, they want to cancel everybody in their cabinet. You think I'm kidding? High-ranking Democrats and Democratic operatives had put their name on petitions that went out to corporations and organizations saying, do not hire anyone that had anything to do with the Trump administration. And there's a lot of things I didn't agree with Trump on in terms of style.
Well, me either.
His policies, I did. But anyway, I encourage folks, if I can get this out, and I want to go to you.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all right. It's just one point. Consider all those things. And if you feel it's a calling, then please run. Because our country needs you. And families that, whether it's a mother, a father, a husband, or a wife, and you collectively make that decision as a family, please do, because it sounded like I was trying to talk you out of it.
No.
And I was, if you run for the wrong reasons. Anything less than a calling, it'll be such a miserable experience that you will woe the day you even thought about it. But if you run for the right reasons, it's a higher calling. When it's all said and done, you will have a feeling of satisfaction and peace in you. That's really hard to match because you've went through the fire, you put people first, you tried to make the world a little bit better place when you occupied whatever office you ran for. And that's the feeling I have inside. I did my best, let God do the rest, made a lot of mistakes. But I can tell you right now, 99.9% of the decisions I made, my heart was in the right place. I felt.
Yeah, but and let me tell you something. I mean, the power of the political power is not easy. You can see it in every politician's
face. It goes to people's heads, too.
Huh?
It goes to people's heads, too.
It goes to your heads, but you can see it in their face.
It means draining their energy.
It drains everything you have.
Yeah.
You see, and I'm sorry, but every politician I see out there, you can see the years that it has put on them.
You're really looking at me when you say that.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm just saying.
I agree, though.
That
mayors,
it's scary. I'm
I'm
talking about mayors, governors, congressmen, senators.
It's like dog
every
years.
type of, it's they think you can come in and well, they wanted me to run for a senator one time, and I'm like, what?
I've been dead by now. No, but years in office, especially in mayors, are like dog years, man. You go in looking like Bubba, and you come out with a face that's worn out 2 bodies. And people
It's,
go, what the hell happened to you?
It's not
I
an
just
easy.
looked at him. I went, Mayor. It wasn't. Oh, not those long days on the set or the NFL. No, Mayor.
No, you still look good, but I mean, don't forget you were mayor during 9/11.
Yeah.
You not only, I mean, you were already a well-known face.
Well,
known to TV, and we really had to. We went through the ringer on a lot of stuff, and so did our kids, and it was not easy. So for us, it not being easy, you can imagine what it's like for a politician to come in and try to
day and time.
be equal to everyone out there, whether you're DR independent, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to be fair, and let me tell you, it's not easy.
Every decision you're going to make somebody mad.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to come back here in just a moment. And the Pope has weighed in on the vaccine mandate, and you might be surprised at the Pope's stance on it. One thing you're not supposed to talk about in restaurants and bars or religion and politics. Well, we ain't a bar and we ain't a restaurant. This is Alan Autry.
It's like
No
the
Retreat,
cowboy.
and we're going to talk about both when we come right back. This is Alan Autry. Don't retreat. Don't go away. It's Free for All Friday.
All
on
clear?
Facebook. Hey, Facebook folks, thanks for tuning in. Boy, I see the emails. I wish I could read them.
I tell you
I'm looking
what,
up right now at them. I can.
and I feel like we've been bragging on Steve, and now I feel guilty because I love
Why?
that boy. I do. I like doing the show with him.
Hey, he's going to be doing action, but you got to toughen him up. He's
I
going to be
know.
hanging with Bruce Willis and Dolph Lundgren.
I'm gonna start being. I'm
He's
gonna
gotta
have to
toughen up.
really. I'm gonna have to tan him and train him.
Tan him
I'm gonna have
and
to
train him.
pamper.
No, we missed that little whippersnapper when he's not here. But
Yeah.
he's got a lot on his plate now. Got this big movie coming up.
This is true. Yeah, we're giving you this.
Okay, but I can't believe what the Pope said. But we'll get to that when we get back.
It's I mean, you said Biden. What do they call it on
Remember when
Thursday? Biden bad Thursday.
yeah.
Biden has bad every day.
You remember? Do you remember? I know you do because you're the one who told me when on 9/11 that morning. My one day I get to sleep in, so I'm sleeping in, really enjoying it.
Georgianne White called, and
Yeah.
I had Austin
He-
sitting on my lap, and she went, "Go wake up, Alan."
Yeah, and you walked in and
And we watched the second tower. I turned the TV on. You go, "Don't ever forget I said this name." Oh, Ben Laden.
Osama bin
Laden. And I'm like, what?
Osama.
And you
Right-
went, don't forget this name.
Osama bin Laden. I knew right off the bat.
Right off the bat, you
he
knew.
he was behind it all.
And-
I'd done a lot. I'd followed him over the years, and he had his fingerprints all over it. And you have those things happen, Kim. And I know I speak for everyone who, had experienced 9/11. Nothing was really the same after that.
No.
The world, sometimes events are so seismic.
We actually went down to the grounds, and met with the firefighters. And, when it was still smoking, and the stories of going through the abandoned buildings where the firefighters were
That was
sleeping.
something, wasn't it?
The stories, the whole, just, it was eerie. It was sad. It was
What
horrible.
Kim's talking about, we were invited to New York City. No, this was the second time. Third time we've been to New York. But we happened to have a mayor's conference there right after 9/11. And we got a kind of a VIP tour.
All right, we have 1 minute.
And the place was still smoking. And the firefighters were in St. Paul's Church working around the clock. One crew would go out, the other would sleep and go in. And anyway, we're coming back on radio here, but we'll continue this story sometime. So it's something we'll never forget.
No, it's pretty cool. Remember, I would take the fast track from D.C. to New York.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't need friends or family to go with me. I just take off and go. Remember?
Oh, gosh, I remember. Where's my wife? Oh, she's someplace in New York. Oh, thank you. Comforting.
Oh.
All right, we have 15 seconds. Stand by. Quiet.
All right.
Ethy Radonovich is always with me.
Yes. May she
Loyal friend she was to
May
me.
she rest in peace.
A loyal friend.
5 seconds. Stand by. Listen for the music.
Talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
And welcome back to Free For All Friday. I'm Alan Autry along with Kimberly Autry, minus
Hello.
Stephen Cloud, who's out preparing for his movie. And we're all happy for him, excited. New film. We don't know the title, or I don't know the title yet. But it's starring Bruce Willis and Dolph Lundgren. You all know Bruce Willis, the diehard guy. And from Moonlighting, he was way back. Got his start on that TV show. I know that show because it was opposite of The Heat of the Night. We knocked him off the air. Carol O'Connor did. And it was kind of nice. We didn't know who was going to win that battle. And we trounced him pretty good thanks to Carol. And Dolph Lundgren, Drago from the Rocky series. Remember the one, Kim, that says, I think it was Rocky 15 or something. They meet in the middle of the ring. And Stallone's there 5'8", Drago's like 6'4", and they're both ripped.
Yeah.
Drago's just dwarfing him. He looks down at Stallone or Rocky and says, "I will break you." And then Stallone goes, "Yeah, go ahead and try. I'll just see you in the middle of the ring." Yo, Adrian, we did it. But anyway, Steven's got a movie coming up with those two, and so he's out getting in shape. I got to clear something up again because I got a little feedback, and again, I just urge people, don't take one comment that I make and leave everything else out. Take it out of context. That's what these folks do that play gotcha. They'll take out a little soundbite and make it sound like you're saying something that you're not. Or
reference to what?
Well, on January 6th, I've said it over and over again, the so-called insurrection. The right to protest and go there and protest passionately, I will support whether I agree with what's being protested or I don't agree. That's a basic American right to protest, from Martin Luther King's protests.
It's how it was done.
To on it. That's just an American free speech right. When the knuckleheads went in and broke into the Capitol, those cease being, to me, Americans that should be the rights be protected. No, they're breaking the law. You arrest them. Excuse me. I think more should have been arrested on the spot. Why there wasn't more Capitol Police there? Why Nancy Pelosi refused to have more Capitol Police there? Hopefully we'll find that out in this January 6th commission. I wouldn't hold my breath. But those folks, I thoroughly condemn that, top to bottom. Give them the maximum that the law will allow, commensurate with the crime. Okay? I said that before I said this. Having said that, to do what the vice president did in a national address when she compared this January 6th to Pearl Harbor and 9/11 and January 6th. I don't know if we have that clip. We don't have it. We'll play it again Monday, because when you say those three events in the same breath, and you say the suffering is equivalent to those two events, when you had thousands of people killed on Pearl Harbor, you had thousands of people killed at 9/11, and on January 6th, the only person that was killed was Ashley Babbitt, who was one of the protesters and one that went into the Capitol building. There was no Capitol Police killed by Trump supporters. And that, as bad as what they were doing, they called it an armed insurrection. It was not, they were not armed. They didn't find one gun there during that protest, and even the ones who broke into the Capitol. Let me tell you, those kamikaze airplanes were armed, and those bombs that were real bombs on Pearl Harbor, those two planes that flew in, those terrorists were armed with those airplanes. They were fully armed, ready to destroy, and those were true terrorists. And I put it this, and I was talking to Kim the other day, and she thought it was a pretty good analogy. So I'm going to give you the analogy one more time. Hopefully, here we have this clip now. We're going to play it, and I want you to listen to it, and I'm going to make my final comment at least this week on it. Because dadgummit, I keep getting misquoted and saying that I'm one of these insurrectionist supporters, and I supported all that nonviolence and nonsense that went on inside the Capitol, and I do not. Let's play Kamala Harris's comment.
I would be
Certain
sitting
dates echo throughout history, including dates that instantly remind all who have lived through them where they were and what they were doing when our democracy came under assault. Dates that occupy not only a place on our calendars, but a place in our collective memory. December 7th, 1941, September 11th, 2001, and January 6th, 2021.
Okay.
What?
Heck, gummit, Miss Vice President, Madam Vice President. I respect you. I'm not going to be one calling you names, but dadgummit, this is, Kim, a speech that was written way ahead of time. Their speechwriters wrote it. She practiced it. All of her advisors had a chance to hear what she was going to say. And to say that the impact of Pearl Harbor, where everybody knows where they were from that generation, Mom could tell you, Virgil, your dad could tell you, everyone from that generation, where they were. 9/11, tell you where they were. John F. Kennedy being assassinated, tell you where they were. I can't tell you where I was January 6th, and I don't think most Americans can. The Democrats, the Republicans, or the Democrats, Kim, they didn't remember. Most of them don't remember where they were when this event happened. And here's my point. Here's the analogy I put towards Kim, and as I said, she thought it was a pretty good one to illustrate what we're talking about. You have three guys sitting around talking about, their wives, and the one guy said that the other, I lost my wife 2 weeks ago to cancer, and the other husband says, "Man, I know how you feel. I got to tell you, last week I lost my wife to a heart attack." And the third guy goes, "Oh man, yeah, I know how you guys feel. Just 3 days ago, my wife broke her ankle." Now, a broken ankle is nothing to laugh about. That's bad. But does it belong in the same category as someone who lost their wife through disease? Is 9/11 the same as all of those people who lost their lives at the U.S. Arizona? Still hundreds in that ship in Hawaii right now, trapped down there in their final grave. In 9/11, you see all these cops that you have memorials every year of the lives lost. So anyway, I want to make it crystal clear right now, then we're going to move on here to the subject. I do not support 1 ounce of me supports the knuckleheads, as I said, that went into that Capitol. But I'm going to tell you, I will push back in honor of that World War II generation and all of the soldiers that lost their life that day, and all of the families, all the Gold Star families that lost their lives, and to those at 9/11 that lost their lives, thousands of people that lost their life there, all of the families that are traumatized by that event. I'm going to apologize for the vice president to have the audacity to put January 6th in that same category. I apologize on her behalf because I doubt she's ever going to. And if she came the other day, if she had a press conference the other day and apologized, I would be the first one to praise her. Unqualified praise of her. Way to go. You thought about it. You see where you screwed up, and you apologize. That's being a leader. And Lord knows we need leadership nowadays. Kim, okay, we're going to really shift gears here because I want to hear your take on it. I just found out, folks, you may know this. I was shocked to find out that in America, 50 states, I think almost all 50 states, you can marry at 16, okay? You marry at 16. But in many states, you can marry at 14. So a 14-year-old can decide to marry another 14-year-old.
I've never heard that.
No, it's true. And here's the kicker. Here's the really, California is one of, I think, 3 states that has no age minimum of getting married. You could have a 12-year-old decide to marry another 12-year-old.
But you have the government telling you what you can do with your body as a woman.
Well,
that's so sad.
I just
like nobody's going to tell me what I can do with my body.
Yeah, okay. I got you on that, but let's kind of stay on the for a little bit.
But they're not going to work on that.
Yeah, I hear. Okay,
You know what I mean? I mean, that's like saying,
Folks,
okay,
did you know that?
once you're 18, you're out of the house and don't look back.
Please call me if you do. I'd like to hear your input. If anybody knew that or you have a comment on that, 559-899-1550. Please give me a call because I was shocked. And this is true.
What are they going to live? Mom and dad? You know what? There's so many kids now these days they're not growing up. They're just staying home with mom and dad. We got 40-year-old, 36-year-old, 40. I mean, living with their parents or wanting to live with their parents.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere.
Again, but I don't want to branch out on that. I just want to stay on this, if we could, just for a second. That astounding fact that the state of California they have a minimum age of vote. A lot of things have driver's license, but to marry, there is no age minimum. So in theory, you could go in at 13 years old and marry another 13-year-old or a 10-year-old. I don't know.
And have as many babies as you want.
Woody's shaking his head.
And has as many babies as you want.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Anyway, I just thought that was going to. Okay, let's talk about the Pope. The Pope we have now really likes to wade into politics. He's not shy about it.
No.
He gets in there and makes his most people of the cloth in the clergy kind of, they don't tread there for one reason or another. They don't get involved in it. Back in the day, you had Jerry Falwell and the moral majority. He was really deep into politics. Billy Graham wasn't. Billy Graham stayed out of it. A lot of pastors will dibble around the edges. G.L. Johnson used to delve deeply into politics. He felt it was a pastor's responsibility to be involved in that. But the Pope said something very emphatic about the mandate of the vaccine. He said that it is the moral responsibility of all of us to take the vaccine. It is our moral, I'm going to repeat that, it's our moral responsibility to take the vaccine. That's kind of a bold statement, isn't it?
For him to even be talking about morals is kind of hard for me to swallow.
Hold on now. Hold on. You got it.
I'm sorry.
Well, come on now. You're going to.
That's all I got to say.
Hold on 1 second. Jose just
that's all I
put a thing in front of me. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's leave the Pope alone here for a second. And he says, with consent to marry, Massachusetts is with parental consent. Oh my gosh. In Massachusetts, with parental consent, you can marry at 12 years old.
Jesus Christ.
In New Hampshire, with parental consent, you can marry at 13. Hawaii, 15. Missouri, 15. Alabama, 16. Now, you talk about perception, people that have these stereotypes of people. I guarantee you, most of the woke far left would think that Alabama would be the one that had the 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Massachusetts, the heart of liberalism, is 12 years old. And these far left comedians get it over. Yeah, Alabama, those inbreds, and that just shows how ignorant people can be on a lot of subjects. Alaska, 16 years old. Arizona, 16. Arkansas, 16, your home state. Colorado, 16. Connecticut, 16. And Delaware. Now, without parental consent, most of the time it's 18. Mississippi's 15. And you got mostly 18 in those states. And in California, without parental consent, it's 18. But with parental consent, California and Mississippi. Who would think that California and Mississippi would have something in common? And what they do have in common, with parental consent, you can let your kid marry somebody else.
Well, they're not going to live with me.
So you could have a 10-year-old marry a 40-year-old.
I mean, do kids not realize they put you through enough besides wanting to move back in with you?
Well, that's another subject.
Christmas.
That's another. We can talk all day about that.
Dear God.
Anyway, I thought that was kind of sad. Let's go back to the Pope.
Okay.
And is it your moral responsibility to get that?
You know what? I really and truly.
Joe Biden thinks so.
I have no comment.
No
I plead the fifth.
It's a talk show. You got to have a comment.
I don't, because I'll say something really bad.
Oh, don't do that. We want to stay on the air. Okay.
But I will talk about,
Well, we talked about Joe Biden and his and the mandate. Let's just talk a little bit about Joe's Bloody Thursday. yesterday. Boy,
Every day is Joe's bloody
Brother
day.
Joe, no, not like yesterday, though. Yesterday, he got the news that the Supreme Court, you see it referred to as POTUS, President of the United States, short for President of the United States, POTUS. Well, now there's SCOTUS, short for Supreme Court of the United States. And then you have VPOTUS, for Vice President of the United States. Well, anyway, the SCOTUS gave the POTUS some bad mojo yesterday when they struck down Joe Biden's attempt to make big business with over 100 employees mandate that their employees be vaccinated.
When you treat people bad juju are going to come and get you.
I think that's a good thing for folks to remember. But a big blow to them, another weakening of Joe's leadership, at least perceptually of his leadership. But here's another example. You know, you don't have advisors telling you, Mr. POTUS, if you take this to the SCOTUS is going to kick your POTUS butt, and then it's going to be another one in the L column, in the loss. Why? Because it's unconstitutional. I mean, you don't even have the VPOTUS with enough sense to tell the POTUS, don't take this to the SCOTUS, because the SCOTUS ain't going to have anything to do with it. So, you know, you look at the logic of it. Why would you put something forth that you know is going to get beat after the debacle in Afghanistan, a big loss there, the border like a sieve, millions of undocumented people coming over, many of them with COVID, another in the loss, inflation at 39-year highs, another loss. You go on and on and on. The CDC coming out with more confusing information. People don't even know what to do now. And then you tell the states, you said, I'm going to shut down the virus, and you don't. And then not only do that, you not shut it down, you punt it back to the states, say, sorry, I couldn't solve it. It's your job now. You're the one's going to take the blame for it. I mean, why would you do these things? And then he had another loss where Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin refused to support the voting rights bill that's in the Senate right now. And you look at it, and who in their right mind, really in their right mind, would be against showing an ID before you vote? You have to have an ID, a driver's license to get on an airplane. Now they're making you have either a real ID or a passport. You have to show your ID to doctor's office. You have to prove who you are. Yet the most important right that you have to vote, to pick your leadership, you're trying to push a system, calling it the Voters' Rights Act, where you don't have to really show any ID.
That's because there's something behind it. Anything you don't want to show someone is because there's something bad behind it.
And then on top of that, exactly, you say
no show, no go.
No show, no go. I like that. But you say also that Joe Biden on Thursday, that he wants to end the filibuster. Again, changing a law that Joe Biden not too many years ago said was fundamental to the democracy, to keep the debate going. You want to end it. So if you can't win by the rules, you just want to change the rules. You can't win it through constitutional means. You want to get rid of the Constitution. The ends justify the means, which is a classic Marxist tenet. And he's gotten in bed. Maybe he's always been there. You know, I'm starting to think, people think, well, Joe Biden didn't used to, be that. He used to be a middle of the road guy. And he used to be an honest guy. I don't know. He was part of this whole Obama thing that during the Obamacare battle, that if you like your doctor, you could keep your doctor, which was totally untrue. You go way back, further back when Joe Biden ran for president, he plagiarized an entire speech from an English politician. And you go on and on and on about these.
Don't you know that we've got a double? We've got a double Joe Biden. It's not him all the time.
That's true. He's a puppet. There's no doubt.
Well, no, really. There's a second Joe Biden.
Now you're getting into Tucker Carlson's camp. He said Nancy Pelosi is actually Michael Jackson.
I mean, come on. I mean,
they do it.
They do it. They do it in other places in the world I won't mention right now.
Yeah, they put.
But anyway, he's got a double. So whatever the double says,
Tough day Thursday for the president. I happen to think, though, it was really Joe Biden. He's that's one thing about, coming into office.
The real Joe Biden.
When you're kind of really, really old, you don't really age that much when you're in office. You kind of look the same. You kind of kind of hit the wall. I mean, he actually.
No. He left us a long time ago. They got a double in there now. Come on, you don't all of a sudden talk like that really good and straight, and before he could barely even put a sentence together.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
I'm not going to get on him.
That's programmed.
For not being able to,
That's programmed.
So I'm not going to go after ridicule him about his.
I'm sorry, but that's not the real Joe Biden.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break. This is the real Alan Autry, No Retreat with Kimberly Autry. We'll be right back. Oh, man, well, we got a few more minutes left in the show. Thank you for joining us. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
All clear?
All right.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, how did you just all of a sudden get this bionic medication that he's talking like a normal person?
He got really mad the other day. Well, when did he talk like normal? He can. I shouldn't say I don't want to be mean.
When he first came into office, he was a mess.
And now you think he's doing better?
I think it's not even the same person.
Yeah.
He couldn't even put it.
So you think he's improved?
This is the speech. The end.
Well, end. So you think he's improved cognitively?
I think it's not really him.
You're not the only one that said that. I've heard a lot of people say that, man. That's a stand-in.
Yeah, that is a stand-in.
He's a clone. He's a clone.
Now, who would want to clone Joe Biden?
Well, they had to.
Well, maybe George Clinton. He cloned Dr. Funkenstein.
They had to clone him. They couldn't get rid of him. The D's could not get rid of him.
All right. When we come back, we're
going to talk about Dez.
Well, I don't know.
I like about the Cuban and
about the ethnicity thing. You want to? Okay, we can see how far we get with it. We're not going to have that much time. But
well, why not end it on that?
We've been on politics. We'll end on whatever you want to end it on. Micho Susho. But I do want to get this out about this Boston bomber. It'll be really quick.
Oh, God.
No, we will. And then we'll flip over to
yeah, it's sick. It's sad, like everything else. Depressing.
Or are we just a
I mean, can we not bring in like free for all fun? Yeah, the Boston bomber. He got money.
Well, now you blew it. Now there's some people on social media. You just don't want to go there. Well, folks, okay, we'll share just with social media. We won't go to the radio. We'll come back on radio. We'll go right to you did it. Yeah, the Boston bomber, the guy's on death row.
Yeah.
Got a stimulus check, $1,400. How in the world? And then you start thinking, well, Bernie Sanders believes that people in prison should have the right to vote.
I get cheated out of all kinds of money, and I still don't get stimulus money.
Well, you're not helping your case right now, I'm telling you.
Well, I don't get. Wow.
No more info on that.
Mm-mm.
Oh boy! But anyway, I think that just takes the cake there. $1,400. Yeah, the guy.
All right, we got 1 minute.
On death row, gets a stimulus check to buy presents for his family, I guess, whatever. I mean, that's.
I don't even get a stimulus check.
What's that?
I don't even get a stimulus.
Oh, you probably make too much.
I hide my money.
Oh, that's good. The IRS listens to the show, you know.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's going to work.
Yeah. I don't get a stimulus
I got 30
check.
seconds.
She doesn't hide her money, folks.
I wish. I've got people out there that do it for me.
There you go.
I'm from Arkansas. Remember Mark Fimbres used to say things like that?
All right, 15 seconds. Stand by. Quiet on the set. 15 seconds. Stand by.
It's just a joke. But I tell you what.
15 seconds. Hold on just 1 second.
Look at Marilyn. Now that's a body for you.
Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
Hey, and welcome back to Alan Autry No Retreat. It's Free for All Friday. So I promised Kim we were going to go. We just got, about 5 minutes left on what you tell folks what you want to talk about in terms of whether ethnicity should play their own ethnic.
Well, there was this
in movies.
In movies,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, there was this huge, there was a little bit of an ordeal of the guy who played Desi Arnaz in the
Ricardos.
The Ricardos.
It was a TV series.
And it was a TV series, but they made a movie about it. And the guy, what's his name? Andrea.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
He was good.
Name. Yeah, he was awesome, and he's married to Penelope Cruz.
Okay.
In real life, and
so you're talking about Ricky Ricardo. The real Ricky Ricardo was
Cuban.
Well, Desi Arnaz was no really real Ricky Ricardo. Desi Arnaz was Cuban.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Desi Arnaz was Cuban, and so the guy that they got to play, Desi Arnaz. I keep wanting to say Ricky Ricardo.
No, he did.
He played Ricky Ricardo,
yes.
And he was not Cuban. He was
or is.
He was Spanish.
He is Spanish.
Yes.
Okay.
He is Spanish, and there was a little bit of conflict on. They should have casted, somebody from Cuba.
Yeah, they're coming after them. Really, they being this these folks that for some reason think that if you're going to play a certain ethnicity, you better be that ethnicity.
And he goes, you know what? They almost went with somebody I think that was from Cuba, but they came back and saw that I he was better. And he goes, I didn't even know I could sing like that. He goes, my wife Penelope goes, I can't believe you can sing like that. I literally want to do a musical with you.
But what do you think about that position though? The people that's an issue for them. That there's a lot of good Cuban actors out there, and I think it goes back in the early days, 30s, 40s, 50s. You'd see Indians being played by white actors with a lot of makeup on, and you saw just some egregious examples of actors playing a certain ethnicity, and you're saying to yourself, gosh, that's.
If you can find the right actor that's Cuban, then I say cast Cuban. So if that's what you want.
You bring up a good point. So you're saying it's about the acting. It's about being competent as an actor.
Yes. You don't want somebody that is not, capable of really pulling off Ricky Ricardo.
Right.
Because that wouldn't play right.
Right.
You want the best actor, and the best actor was Spanish and not
Cuban.
Not Cuban. Then you go with the best actor. But if you can find a great actor singer that's Cuban, then I say cast Cuban. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can kind of see the point though of I agree with your point as well, because it's about competence, but I do believe Hollywood historically has not been very good at the outreach.
I agree.
And I think they should take some steps. Hollywood makes tons of money on these movies, and you say, what is Hollywood? Well, take the Producers Guild. You get a bunch of folks together, put in some money, and recruit minorities to get into acting. Support some acting workshops in New York and L.A. Excuse me, and do a full outreach and scholarship some folks that may not be able to afford it.
Yeah.
To get into to the acting profession, so you have more. You have more talent.
Offer that in Cuba.
Well,
well,
in Cuba, you have to talk to the communist regime. I don't know what they're not really in love with the performing arts.
No, they're not.
And they're not going to be, especially the Ricardos, because one thing you learn about that movie, I knew it, but a lot of people didn't know, because I just followed that show, and Desi Arnaz was back in my era. But he was part of the Cubans that were run out. His family was run out of Cuba by Fidel Castro. All of his possessions taken. Ran out, family members killed by the communists. And they said in the movie, when the Ricky Ricardo's friend who played William Frawley, who's a regular on the original I Love Lucy, was trying to explain to Nicole Kidman, who plays Lucy,
trying to explain to Lucy
why Ricky is the way he is, of the culture, of the Cuban culture. And he says, you got to understand, Ricky loves America. And she says, I know it. And he stopped her, said, no, you got to understand this, Lucy. Ricky really loves America. And so he's going to stand up against these communists that were out there that was part of the movie. And if you get a chance to watch it, is it on Netflix? I think it was on Amazon Prime.
I couldn't remember.
Anyway,
I think maybe Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Either way, you can go on your streaming service.
Good show.
On one of those, really good movie. You'll enjoy yourself. Folks, thank you for tuning in here on Free for All Fridays.
Thank
Kim
you.
And I really appreciate you tuning in, and God bless you. Good Lord willing, Creek don't rise. We get a chance to do it again on Monday. We love y'all. Bye-bye now.
Thanks for having us.
smiling until then.
All clear? All clear.